Hello everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and I just finished my first-person dungeon crawler. That's right, I finally finished Unchained Blades after 53 hours of dungeon crawling, and what a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed this game. It's available on the 3DS shop and on the PSN for the PlayStation Portable. I don't know if you can download it on the Vita or not. That's something you Vita owners will have to check out. But man, I had so much fun playing this game. It took me back to, interestingly enough, it took me back to back when I was a kid playing the Dragon Warrior games. And we'll talk about that a little bit in the gameplay. But the story involves the Dragon Emperor heading off to talk to the goddess Clunea about becoming the most powerful person in all the world. And the goddess Clunea decides, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson, and reverts him and his followers, 4 other dragons, to human form. And through this journey, the Dragon Emperor Fang, I believe, yeah, because I changed his name to Dustin, so I actually can't remember what his real name was. I think it was Fang. Decides that he's going to set out and basically assassinate the goddess Clunea because she did this to him. And along his way, he meets several companions. They're all going to the goddess Clunea to get a wish granted, because that's one thing that Clunea does in this world is if anyone gets to her, she will grant them one wish. And she set up these big living dungeons, towers basically, called Titans, where people go to them, and if they can make through all the trials of the dungeon, at the end they will get their wish. So all these followers, party members that are with Fang, are all going after these Titans to get their wish granted. And it's really a fun storyline, not too involved. The story, I mean, it does have a really great story to it. Not great. It'll keep you playing and keep you entertained. But for the most part, the game is really focused on the dungeon crawling aspects. And but the storyline, I did find myself laughing at quite a bit and enjoying whenever you know, Fang would be sort of a belligerent asshole to these other people. He's kind of like Luke von Fabra in a way, because as he goes through the journey and hangs out with these other characters, he begins to actually like them and care for them and not just look at them as weaklings. And really a nice, diverse cast of characters. Some of the standouts, I really liked Lapsus, is her name. And of course, she is the sort of quintessential Japanese RPG big-titted girl that whenever she talks, which I will talk about in the graphics, how they do the cutscenes. It's a lot like Rise Fantasia or like the Tales games, where it just has like big pictures of people kind of talking to each other. She'll do like one of these little numbers, and of course her chest just heaves massively. I also really liked Lucius, who is this sort of immortal swordsman. He's a nice counterpoint to Fang. But yeah, a really interesting, fun storyline. I like the world that was presented with this idea of, you know, the reason for you know, completing these dungeons is not just, oh, so we can get this item to go there. It's these people are trying to get their one big wish granted. Of course, this leads to some issues as you get later into the game. There is sort of a reason why these getting these wishes granted is not such a great thing, or that maybe the journey through the Titan itself is not a great thing for these people. But yeah, really enjoyed the storyline. Really great translation by Xseed. I didn't mention that at the beginning, top of the video. This was brought over to us by those great folks at Xseed, who I got to take a second here to go on a tangent. Love those guys, because they just put out they're getting ready to put out Celceta in the fall. I'm buying a Vita. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay, which there's a lot to talk about in the gameplay. I was really surprised at all the stuff you can do in this. First and foremost, first-person dungeon crawler and random battles. And they remind me a lot of Dragon Warrior. And specifically, I talked about this on the podcast. They reminded me of when I was young and playing Dragon Warrior, what I thought like a Super Nintendo version of Dragon Warrior would be. Which is, sometimes you'll go into a battle and you'll only fight, you'll have a traditional one-screen battle with like maybe 4 or 5 different enemies. Sometimes, however, you'll be fighting 3 screens of enemies. So you hit the L and R button to swap between the 3 screens. Some of these battles can get very intense, and this game is no slouch. It's not as hard as, say, the Dark Spire, but I got numerous game overs, and really, more often than not, you just get knocked down to a certain HP and magic level, and you just have to go back to town, and then you have to slog through the dungeon again to get back where you were. So a lot of it is retreading your steps, and I know, like, Steven, the laggy gamer, is talking about how it's just driving him insane to have to go back through these, all the floors again. The game does have a great mini-map, however, that for the 3DS version is on the bottom screen. For the PlayStation Portable, I think you just press a button and it kind of overlays while you're traversing the dungeon. But, there was only a few times where I was really starting to feel the grind. For some reason, this game was just completely addictive to me. It has a Pokemon-esque, and whenever there's a monster collecting sort of system, it's always going to be referred to as Pokemon-esque. I don't know why. But basically what you do, while you're fighting these battles and you're beating up these enemies, every now and then you will damage them enough or do enough hits on them that you'll put them in an Unchained status. And basically what you can do then is do a little mini-game where you get these rings coming down, and you have to get them within a target by pressing the B button. And you have charisma levels in this. See, there's so much to talk about this game. And they raise up as you do well in battles and stuff. And the higher your charisma level, the slower those rings go down. So it makes it easier to unchain enemies. And sometimes you'll have to do like 3 or 4 rings in a row. And each time you hit the B button, that's where the next ring is. So sometimes it'll be really easy. Sometimes you have like 4 rings to do, and you're really getting down close to the end of the target. And you have just that much space to capture this enemy. So once you get these enemies, you sort of attach them to your main one person in your party. You can have 4 people in your active battle party at a time, and then you can have 4 followers per master. That's what they're called in the game. Now, each of these monsters, it's like really in depth, and the game does a great job of explaining it to you. And I'm going to take forever to explain this, but each monster has a cost, like 2 or 4, and you only have a certain number of charisma points to put towards those monsters. So you might burn them all up on one powerful monster, or have like 4 weaker monsters. Now, why would you pick the 4 weaker monsters? This introduces yet another system called the Anima system, which is how you get your skills. You level up traditionally by getting experience points, and it gives you 2 SP points per level that you get to put towards, it's kind of like the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X. You get to put them towards skills, HP upgrades, things like that. However, you get these skills and you find out, oh shit, I can't cast this spell. It's because these monsters have these affinities called animas, and basically they have 3 slots on each monster. And you'll have like a fire affinity, or a fire anima, and a heal anima. And you have to mix and match these animas to get your skills. It's really kind of complicated, and really you don't need to spend a lot of time working on it. You just need to find skills that you like, level up monsters that have those certain animas, and then once you get them to their max level, which doesn't take very long in this game at all, you can then have them leave your party, and they'll leave behind one of their animas, so that you can attach that to another monster. And that's sort of how you mix and match and build up to these powerful skills. I didn't get the most powerful spells in the game. I don't think you can until you do the actual endless dungeon at the end. There is a post-game where it's, I guess, an infinity dungeon. So, I got cold, sorry guys. For all you level grinders out there, you can put countless hours into this planet. What else am I missing? Follower battles. You have to fight in battles with your followers, which basically turns into sort of a little mini rhythm game. And sometimes I got a little frustrated with these because sometimes you can't. It just seems like you can't win. Like the deck is so stacked against you. But if you take your monsters out and level them up a little bit, capture a few more monsters, eventually you will get past these. But they can be a bit frustrating because it feels like you're just not doing anything right. But basically you just have to press up, down, left, right in the sort of sequence that goes across the bottom of the screen, and the monsters will do battle for you. What else? What else? What else? Traditional first-person dungeon crawler. I think that's really all the big gameplay systems. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be missing something, but somebody will point it out. I'm sure there'll be some other reviews out there for this. Graphically, not the most eye-catching game. I found that the 3D on the 3DS version maybe wasn't worth waiting for. I should have downloaded it maybe on my PSP a while back and played it, because it's been on PSP for a while and we've just kind of been waiting for the 3DS version. So yeah, the 3D is really nothing great, and plus I don't really play my games in 3D anyway. The dungeons look nice, but you know, these first-person dungeon crawlers are not usually the biggest graphical extravaganzas out there. The character models look really nice. The monster models look really nice. You know, graphically, it's not going to blow your socks away, but you're not going to like stab your eyes out looking at it either. The music. I actually found the music to be awesome, and the main theme of the game was done by Nobuo Uematsu. So, for all you Uematsu fans out there, here's a new song for you to listen to. The voice acting, I really did enjoy the voice acting in this. I thought it was a great cast. There wasn't really... The only character that really got on my nerves was Mari, who's kind of this emotionally devoid plant girl. And it's just because she's just so monotone and whatever. But I really did enjoy the voice acting. So yeah, Unchained Blades, getting great reviews out there. And I think it's one that people might, you know, miss because it's not a physical release. Which I just read an article on why Xseed doesn't really do physical releases for the 3DS. Because I guess those little cartridges cost a lot of money to make. So they don't know if they'll get their return back. But, you know, if they keep making these great downloadable games, I'm not going to complain, because this was actually, I mean, $30. It's an expensive game, not going to lie. And it's a big chunk of memory, so make sure you have a big SD card in your 3DS. It's about a gig, I think. Yeah, $30 for about, you know, around 60 hours of gameplay. I mean, that's 50 cents an hour. So you really can't beat that in my book. And it's really gotten me wanting to play more of these first-person dungeon crawlers. So much, in fact, Amazon just restocked the Etrian Odyssey game, so I bought Etrian Odyssey 1 and 2. So I'll probably bump Etrian Odyssey 3 out of the backlog queue and play 1, then play 2, then play 3. And then, of course, I'll probably get 4 when it comes out, because I'm kind of addicted to this genre now, these first-person dungeon crawlers. Darkspire didn't really do it for me. I'm kind of hoping to go back and start that up again sometime and see if maybe I like it more now. But, yeah, Unchained Blades, man, I love this game. If you're looking for some old-school, hard game, challenging game, not really hard, just a challenging game that'll keep you just... I got so addicted to it. Definitely check it out. I'm not sure if the PSN version is cheaper. I don't think it's got a price drop over the 3DS version. But if you got $30 lying around and you're looking for a new experience, you don't really feel like going out to the game store, you could do a lot worse. So anyway, guys, definitely check it out. Go watch some YouTube videos, and that's it. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Check out Unchained Blades, and I'll see you next time.